Welcome to Nathan's Garage. Flora is going well and she is on the move again. In a perfect world, I would like to keep her inside and get some seam sealing and all that kind of stuff done. But we need to get on with that Floorpan thing right there because I have boxes that are mounting up from parts that I bought. I have a beam in the back of my car that's been in there for about 2 weeks, so that needs to get put onto the front of that thing, and that thing needs seam sealing, painting, and then with this being outside in Car Alley, I can wire wheel the roof and all that kind of area, so we can start to figure out a game plan for the interior and painting of the interior. Funny how that worked. Let's get on. Scratch that. Electrolysis. 100% successful. Now, was there a bit of variation in using a benzomatic torch to heat some stuff up? But it's out, and a lot of hitting, and out it came. That was the welded end in there, and just a little bit of beating. But, you know, let's say it played a part in the success, and now I'm going to put it back in to keep having a go on this side and see just if we can get all the rust out of this thing. Ha ha ha, get on. Right, the car is precariously perched on a leaking jack, so what better time than me to show you that I painted it, right? Okay, so basically it's that Rust-Oleum rust paint primer stuff. So engine bay's done, didn't need to do the aluminum, not doing that yet. Did a lot of the heater channel that went in, did all of the exterior surrounding the actual cover itself, and then when it's in place, obviously I'll pull it out. It's going to get seam sealed and then painted. Like we said, probably that Hammerite stuff because it covers up my painting sins. Right, let's see if we can move the car without dropping it. Now there was a gentleman that said use 3, and I really like the idea, but I don't know which dot the head get rid of. Like which one would be centered, because none of them are tall enough. Because I usually do end up with 3, but I lose a corner, but I don't know what that corner is going to be until the corner takes off. Where'd the other one go? See, brute force will work better. Okay, in the dragging, it was only the bottom of this thing that was dragging anyway, so that's fine because that's all going. Checked all the heat channels, all good. Give them another spray bomb of paint. So they are all golden right now. So let's do the next dodgy thing. Get that down. Mains power cables hanging too low. Smooth as. What's that? Come on. Seam sealing time. So the previous seam sealer that I used took so long to set, and it was like, you know, the one at the top of the like search on Amazon. So I used this under seal on the truck on Cal, so I figured I'd try their barrier bond on polyurethane seam sealer. I don't know, see if this is any better. See, look, I'm even being good. I'm wearing a 400. Okay, so we got the main parts done, and then all the bits with seam sealer on, I can just hit them first thing tomorrow morning, flip it over, and then 99% of it is done. Saying that to paint it. Damn it. I am really liking the way this looks. Also, the amount of room I have in the garage as well. But yeah, this looks really nice. Very even and thumbnail diggable inable. Yeah. Seems pretty resistant to my abuse. And then the little alleyways. And then it's probably going to get some of that as well. So back in old Blighty, where I'm from, everything's salted roads and all that kind of stuff. Cavity wax was a huge thing. So when I first came here, I think the very first XR that I bought was as if it had come from Manchester in England, and I found a place in the valley that did this cavity wax. Well, thin rust preventative oil, similar. So I don't know, it's gonna go somewhere. I've got 2 tins of it, so it's gonna go somewhere. But anyway, let's flip this and do the top side. Right, so we have seam sealed and we're waiting for it to go off. Sanded the spine because I'm thinking about having that exposed paint. So for me, we'll see if we can make it work. Now I wanted to get rid of the fuel line because it's redundant and I'm not obviously going to be using that. So watched a few videos and got the back part out. That's fine. So then I've been shoving my head down kind of the shifter situation, and I don't know if you can quite see it. Now, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but you can see the tube. Okay, can you see the clutch tube, which is behind the fuel line, which is kind of pointing at us, and it's sat on that bracket. There is a crack that goes vertically down all the way, and that's the clutch tube. And chances are there's going to be a slightly heavier clutch in this. So some shenanigans has gone on, because obviously I've redone a bracket and that's fine, but this front mount is not. So now, instead of getting frustrated just waiting for seam sealer to dry, I think I'm going to put it on its side there and just chop into the bloody base. That's a bugger. Here we go. So we're going to go, that's easy to weld because that's flat, and then this is, I don't want to go any further forward and start getting into the frame head area, so I'm going to go down there and down there. Trying to think if there's anything important along the bottom, but it was on the fuel line and I just pulled that out. So I think we're good. Okay, well, at least we're cut in the right place. And I mean, I don't know if they're all like this because I just don't know, but look at that. For a big old crackadoodle. Look at that bugger right there. That's no good. Give it a coat of welding. Okay, as discoveries go, this isn't such a bad one actually. So the bracket moves slightly, but it can be tweaked back into place. I wonder when it was like, I want to be maybe stood for years. Somebody went and gorillaed the clutch and bent or snapped something if it was already seized at the back end. Who knows? Very interesting. Okay, so I couldn't quite, so We got a decent welding on the back there. Can't get the gun in really to get it properly on the front, but that's plenty. Who knows if this would have even made a difference. I'll probably put a bit more on it. There we go. That's much better. Totally happy with that now. That ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Okay, I guess we better weld that back on. So the inside's had a good coating of the Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer primer thing, and it will be getting a decent coat of some kind of interior covering, coating, blah 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 stuff thing. Okay, let's put it back on. Okay, turn the machine right up on this one. Yes, I know the power was too high, but I don't know. I just wanted to get a lot of heat into it and make sure it ain't going anywhere. And it ain't. Okay, I guess we're at the point we were before we knew that that was a problem. So, ground down, just did a really thin skim of seam sealer, because why not? And I'm waiting for more of that to arrive. So we'll let that go off overnight. Give that a paint tomorrow, flip this back over right now, and I'll probably prime. And I think that'll be it for the day. So a few of you may be asking yourself, why am I kind of not doing a pattern, taking my finger off the button and then spraying, finger off the button and then spraying? Well, I'm doing that on the center spine because I want that to look nice. This is all going to be underneath sound deadening anyway. And because the universe has bestowed me with so much age, my thumb ligaments and biceps and elbows and wrists are just not recovering from doing spray cans, which seems to be the worst thing for it, but I've got to do it for this right now. So when it's not super in the eye, then it just gets a finger on the button and just keep wafting, you know. And everybody was said I was going too heavy with self-etch, so it's more of a light dusting before it gets painted. So I'm waiting for some more of that. I think I just said that before actually, to get delivered, and then that's going to get done in that, and obviously the whole back end is going to get done in that. I may do the edges in the rubberized undercoat as well, but here I want to do in that goddamn giant turbo can right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is turbo time. And I waited until next door's dust relocation specialist started, obviously just to ruin sound, and I waited till there was half a shadow to really affect filming quality as well. Okay, that's the first dry coat. I've got to recoat within the hour, so I'm going to get some clothes washing done, and then I think I'm gonna hit it with that clear. I have one tin left, and I figure, why not? I think it's pretty hard kind of like wearing, you know? And that is how long a turbo can lasts. Well, let's see how that center spine kind of dries. Well, it's shiny. It's definitely shiny. Well, it is now. I don't know what's going to happen to it as I impose my will on it more. Okay. Guess we'll get on with some other stuff while this dries. Well, I'm gonna do that. Definitely gonna do that clear. So I'll give it. Don't know. I'll have to read the instructions. No idea what I'm doing. And then when that other undercoating arrives, we'll give this a good old coating of that. And I think we're kind of done on the painting front. Then it's starting to open those boxes to build up this back end and pulling the beam out of the Audi and putting it on. Okay, clear time. I mean, it looks really shiny now. Let's hope it dries okay. The only bit that didn't get the two-pack was in the, under the seats. And this is all going to get the sound deadening anyway. I really would like to keep a painted centre spine. If the paint turns out well enough, then that'll be an option. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then this stuff's really hard wearing, so I figured it'd be good to put it there. Then, you know, when you move the tank, it's kind of shiny. While we wait for the paint booth to do its thing, one thing that has to go on the chassis is the transmission. Look at that corrosion, aluminum corrosion from the damp. That is crazy. Now, it's looking like there's a gasket right there. There's also on there, but definitely leaky on this back end. So I'm gonna post up in the a couple of forums, I think, to ask if that is a popular leak point. And if I undo all those and I take that nose cone off, is a load of stuff going to drop out? Because I'm not a transmission guy. And with some YouTube magic, here she is. Kinda cleaned up. There was soaking, scrubbing, soaking, power washing, more soaking, more scrubbing, power washing, wire wheeling, more wire wheeling, a lot of wire wheeling. Okay, that's that. It's not perfect, but it's, you know, it's pretty good. Now I've got to see which gaskets I ordered from either J-Bugs or is it SoCal Imports, the other place, because I'm quite sure I'm going to need some more. I'm pretty sure I didn't order that seal, didn't order drive shaft output seals, may have ordered the side plate seals, and then I need to watch some videos and see what happens. Like I said before, if I'm doing anything of that and slide that out, is anything going to go psh? Because I've had that happen before. It's a bit of a butt clenchy moment. And then I want to see, there's supposedly an upgrade for this whole setup, and I want to see which one I have, because I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you this, all the corrosion on top. That's crazy. I don't know if this is normal, you know, but you know, all the trees were kind of growing across this whole area, so just sat on this for what, 30-40 years wet. Nice. Yeah, just look, see where stuff's gone past and just sort of sat and stayed, and you got that. It's crazy. Floorpan check-in. Right, I think any reacting that has happened or is going to happen has happened, and this is the bit I want nice, because I want that open and then all the way to the back, obviously, and then the only bit I want carpeted is this area. And I think all reactions, which there have been some, have happened. I think we are post-reaction. Next we start putting stuff back on. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.